On the eve of Orthodox Christmas in Russia, President Vladimir Putin addressed global concerns about the situation in the Red Sea and Palestine. During discussions about the importance of family in fostering peace and unity in society, Putin highlighted the tensions in occupied Palestine. He urged caution among what he termed as globalists, advising against exacerbating issues in the Middle East through an unfair and inconsistent approach to the conflict between the Semitic communities. Despite pressures from YouTube regulators, the OMT News team remains dedicated to delivering accurate information. Your support in promoting truthful reporting by sharing and subscribing is valued, aiding in raising awareness about the ongoing situation in Palestine. Putin cautioned that a continued lack of genuine assessment of the situation could lead to further devastating conflicts in the Middle East, impacting both the occupying force and the land appropriated from Palestinians. He urged Israel to pursue paths of peace and compassion to reduce the ongoing loss of lives and properties on both sides of the peninsula. He emphasized that escalating tensions in the Red Sea would not serve the interests of the occupying authority, further eroding trust and peace in the region. The Russian leader, who has taken a pragmatic stance since the crisis began, made these statements considering Yemen's anti-occupation activities in the Red Sea. Thus far, Yemen has refrained from targeting Russian ships, allowing cargo and oil vessels originating from Russia to evade any repercussions from Yemen's determined efforts to disrupt the occupation's economy. The majority of Russian ships transport oil to ports in East Asian countries such as India and China. This transportation represents a crucial lifeline for Russia, particularly in the wake of unprecedented sanctions imposed due to its military actions in Ukraine. Any disruption in the Bab al-Mandab Strait or potential NATO militarization in the region could significantly jeopardize Russian finances, especially as oil prices soar and anticipated revenue skyrockets. Recognizing this vulnerability, Yemen has notably refrained from targeting Russian ships, ensuring freedom of navigation for Russian oil tankers en route to India and China. While there may be some link to Russia's relationship with Iran, the exact correlation remains disputed. Nonetheless, Russia has actively worked toward brokering a ceasefire in the Gaza crisis, sponsoring and voting for resolutions advocating a permanent cessation of hostilities. These efforts align with Russia's pursuit of peace in a conflict that has disproportionately impacted innocent Palestinians, resulting from the occupation's indiscriminate targeting of civilian infrastructure, homes, and shelters through its military actions. Furthermore, Russia facilitated a meeting in Moscow between the political arm of the Palestinian resistance movement and Russia's international mission, reaffirming its genuine interest in seeking a just peace in the region as the successor of the Soviet Union. In light of these actions, Yemen perceives Russia as a fair and just actor and consequently has opted not to pose any threats to Russian ships and cargoes in the Red Sea. As a result, while the occupation's economy grapples with inflation stemming from disruptions in goods shipping, Russia continues to supply its competitively priced oil to nations like China and India. This advantage has raised concerns in Western capitals and underscores why Washington, despite staunchly supporting the occupation forces in Gaza, hastily formed a coalition not to halt occupation aggression, but to alleviate the punitive measures imposed by Yemen in pursuit of peace in the Palestinian region. The unfolding situation becomes intriguing as global shipping faces risks due to actions by Benjamin Netanyahu's army in Gaza, while commodity and oil prices skyrocket, benefiting Russia immensely. Conservative estimates suggest prices could reach remarkably high levels, offsetting the impact of Western sanctions on Russia. For example, predictions indicate that global oil prices could potentially double if disruptions occur in the Strait of Hormuz due to actions by Yemen's army. Dan Striven, Goldman Sachs's head of oil research, highlighted this likelihood during a televised interview, underscoring the impact of Yemeni initiatives such as the de facto blockade in the Red Sea and ongoing operations on cargoes. These actions, carried out in response to heightened tensions between occupying forces and those seeking freedom in Gaza, have raised concerns. Yemen's targeting of vessels associated with the occupation authority in occupied Palestine, in solidarity with the Palestinian cause, has sounded alarm bells. Striven noted that a month-long disruption in the Strait of Hormuz could trigger a 20% increase in prices, cautioning that prolonged interference might even double oil prices. While labeling this scenario as highly unlikely, several energy sector analysts have voiced similar concerns in recent weeks. The escalating attacks have compelled global shipping companies to reroute vessels away from the Red Sea, directing them around the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa. This alternative route, which adds around 6,000 nautical miles to voyages between Asia and Europe or North America, unavoidably results in significant delays of up to a month and escalates shipping costs. The escalation could significantly impact occupied Palestine, potentially pressuring those advocating conflict to reconsider and seek a peaceful resolution to the crisis in Gaza. Furthermore, Russia's warning hints at the possibility of a perilous escalation closely linked to Iran's involvement. Russia's strong ties with Iran have played a pivotal role in advancing Iran's defense industries. While acknowledging the technological insights gained from captured American drones and unmanned vehicles, Russia remains a key contributor to Iran's technological advancements. This relationship, which flourished during the Ukrainian crisis, greatly influences the geopolitical dynamics in the Red Sea region. During the conflict in Ukraine, Iran proved instrumental by supplying much-needed drones when the conflict shifted into a technology-driven war. Russia faced a shortage of drones, particularly armed ones that were still in the developmental stages. Ukrainian forces, well equipped with effective Turkish and other Western drones, outmatched Russia. Iran stepped in, providing Russia with numerous Shahed drones. These cost-effective, easily producible and locally operable drones significantly altered the course of the conflict. They posed a substantial challenge to the well-armed Ukrainian forces supported by Western technology. This marked the first time the West acknowledged the superiority of Iranian-inspired technology, leading to considerable disruption in places like Kiev and a significant shift in the war's dynamics. This fraternal assistance solidified the relationship between the two countries, fostering a phase of multipolar cooperation primarily aimed at countering Western sanctions. To emphasize this newfound collaboration, Iran's leader recently visited Moscow, pledging close cooperation with the European country. Many speculated that the visit aimed to allay Russia's concerns regarding tensions in the Red Sea and its potential impact on Russia's ability to sell crude to Indian and Chinese refiners. Russia's concerns about the actions of occupation forces in Gaza also stem from the potential impact on its Muslim population. Although Islam is a minority religion in Russia, the country hosts Europe's largest Muslim population. Estimates suggest that Muslims in Russia number around 36 million, comprising roughly 22% of the total population. Sheikh Rawil Ghainaddin, one of Russia's Grand Muftis, estimated the Muslim population at 25 million in 2018. Islam holds a recognized position under Russian law and by political leaders, considered one of Russia's traditional religions. It's an integral part of Russian historical heritage and is supported by the government. The acknowledgement of Islam as a major Russian religion, alongside Orthodox Christianity, dates back to Catherine the Great's era, during which she supported Islamic clerics and scholarship through the Orenburg Assembly. The history of Islam in Russia encompasses periods of conflict, collaboration, and mutual support between the Muslim minority and the Orthodox majority. Given the careful attention paid to how Russia's actions in Gaza are perceived by Russian Muslims, the government has supported initiatives aimed at resolving the crisis permanently. This involves advocating for a two-state solution to bring peace and development to the peninsula. There's a perception, whether true or false, of America obstructing attempts for lasting peace in Palestine. Washington's apparent complicity, through its unwavering support for occupation forces in Gaza, is conspicuous. It's vital to raise awareness and foster informed discussions on this issue. Sharing this information and staying updated on Palestine's developments can contribute to a better understanding of the situation. Until the next update, let's hope for peace and stability in the region.